Okay, thanks. Cool. This is SIG Release Meeting, November 11th. So we have a few agenda items. So probably the two main things is obviously Rado that we need to figure out the release status. I think we have a few items left. We presented that in the TSC meeting. It's mainly around AI and pre-5GC and topology from a material deliverable perspective, and also the PR is open from the Samsung for the Helm 2 operator SDK stuff. And then we had a few release items from our side. I think we will wait to hear that from Rado. And then once that is done, I think probably we need to Wim and Taldi, is that okay if we can discuss in this meeting about the tentative release dates, because I may not be able to attend the witness test meeting for SIG automation. And then there is one more item today, is the release time for the SIG release. So we don't have to decide, but at least tentatively think about that based on what happened in this SIG architecture meeting just prior. So those are the things. So with that said, probably Rado, could you please give us a note on some of the things that you were working on in terms of the process changes, etc.
Right. Yeah. Sure. So I got only few points here. So there's Pro update hanging. I've just submitted the PR. It's still marked as a work in progress. I just have to run a few tests there. There is a possible secrets leak in Pro that we have now. Unfortunately, all the job configurations that we have now are not prone to this, so we're safe here. But the changes for 374 and 373 will require this kind of jobs. So potentially it could leak the GitHub token, which is obviously not a good situation. So that's that. I'm hoping to finish these tests today, and it will be marked as a good to merge. For upgrade itself, I guess I will start tomorrow morning my time. So in case something dies or whatever, hopefully not, but it will be in the time when there is not that much traffic on Pro either way. So we will have time to either revert or to make some countermeasures, whatever will happen. Well, if nothing happens, just when I guess most of the team will start using it. It will be, the change will be unnoticeable from users' perspective. All right. So as I was saying, the next two PRs are actually dependent on it. The one for the coverage reporting and changes is depending on 215 PR, which is right now hanging on a review. So in case anyone feels like a reviewy, please do have a look at it. It's not a big change, so to speak, but changing the jobs depends on it, as the image will have to be updated to contain the new scripts and software. And yeah, I guess that's about it from my side when it comes to the changes for this new week.
Yeah, thanks, Rado. Do you mind putting this message in both in SIG automation chat and SIG release chat for the review, if you don't mind, please?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
So whatever reviews needed, please put in those things.
Yeah.
So that I wanted to I know this, but just wanted to ask you again. Let's say once we are in the, say, the code is ready, if you get go ahead from SIG 2, like the code is ready, artifacts are ready. For us to do the release and then do the checklist in the sense that, like obviously we run all, obviously the jobs are automated in terms of copyrights and the licenses and headers,
Right.
things like that, and also signing the images, pushing the images. Generally, what is the time window we are looking at for those kind of jobs? And obviously tagging the uh, repos, and then we need to get some sense of uh, uh, we need to get some guidance from SIG to Wim and Tal and Stephen how we want to tag a particular repo, especially the one with packages.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the release process itself, it's pretty much automated, like it was in two previous releases. So it will be produced basically in the same way. For the final release, so like tagging the images and stuff. I guess when we get go, we can go. It's previously we've done it with John, but I mean it's not really like two-man job. We just wanted to have like a two pair of eyes on it. But I mean I can do it myself if that's needed. If not, we can do like a release party and have like the Zoom meeting or something for it. Doesn't really matter. I mean if we're good to go, we can release today. Actually,
Oh, awesome. Cool.
when it comes to like doing the exact kind of release like we've done on previous two. So like the first one, and then the minor release.
Yeah, Radu, I mean, as far as the existing code goes for the R2, do you see any red signs? You remember once we ran the job and we had some license issues, then we had to get some exceptions from the TSC in the first release for the Mozilla
If
license.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything sticking out, but I will also run the manual tests on the whole code base just to be sure, as I presented on some previous presentations. There's a separate server for this, which you can run the flow to check actually the whole code base, not PRs only, just to be on the safe side. So I will then like generate the report out of it. If something sticks out, probably there's gonna be still time to get the approval. But so far, I mean, if there would be the same situation like with the different incompatible licensing or something, the PR will be blocked. So it for sure it would come out earlier. So I don't suspect anything major in those scans. So I guess we're good on this side.
Cool. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. So Wim and Tal and Stephen, the release dates, Kandan said that he would ideally prefer it if we take it to a TSC meeting on January 18th for their blessing. That means we finish the coding, testing, and docs by January 18th. And I think we may still have some time to tidy up things a bit because he said the release is going to happen on Jan 30th. For example, even some docs are pending a little bit, or we had to do some cleanups. That's fine. But what do you guys think? Are we comfortable? Based on the last SIG2 meeting, we spoke to Sagar and Joseph. They were actually targeting this week, so I think I got a sense that they are fine with this January date. So I just wanted to see what you all think.
Yeah, so the thing is that I think you updated the board with a few new items, I think, Bala, right?
Yes, I think I still need to put the documentation item, yeah.
Yeah, because but see, I mean, all the stuff is in the hands of Sagar and Joseph at the moment, right? And then Victor for the test integration. I have the feeling is that
Yeah, and Ronak with 5G, free 5GC,
yeah,
and
and
Stephen
Ronak
with the
for the
topology.
5G, right? Yeah.
So
So
Stephen with the topology. Yeah, and then team was
is there a way?
developing.
Can we find other? So I think we have to find other volunteers potentially to help
Absolutely.
with the documentation, right?
So
The question is, where else can we ask for volunteers to support this process? Because yeah, I mean, it's never good to have very few people, in my view. So the more we have to,
yes.
I'm trying to see whether we can, yeah, uh, let's say crowdsource a bit more.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. I think that is something we missed in R2. I think you should do it in R3 timeframe. As far as I know, Tal has your hands is raised. Let me just make one statement. So as far as the documentation goes for this particular deployment, Sagar and Victor said they're going to come up with some kind of documentation, just like the way we did with R1. And then I think we'll do that in GitHub, just like the way we did. And then Gergely, I think he's going to take it up, and then he's going to present that in a new format. I don't know whether you got a chance to see that, Wim. I think he's trying to do it. Trying to do the documentation landing page just like the way Kubernetes does. I think the way I understand is that's still the work in progress. And then once the R2 documentation is whatever we produce, he's going to take it up and then produce it in that form. So, Tal, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's exactly on that point. I think we're fine with implementation and code. I think that date presents no problem. It's just documentation that can sometimes go a bit long. I'll volunteer to help with it. And I mentioned in the past that I think it might be a nice idea for us to have a documentation czar, somebody who just looks at all the documentation together and makes sure that it's coherent and uses the same terminology, and kind of is coherent, right? In terms of just quality assurance on top. I'll volunteer myself and also volunteer somebody else. Liam is not on the call here right now, but he's been very good and passionate about documentation in the past. So maybe I can team up with him to kind of look at all the documentation as it comes in and kind of apply an extra level of coherence on top of everything. So I'll say I don't think it's a blocker, right? So I think documentation is even something you can update after our release, right? I don't think the TSC cares specifically about that. So documentation is very important. I like to say that an undocumented product is a broken product. I think it's very, very important for the documentation to be top quality, but it's something that doesn't have to land exactly on the release date. So I'll say, yes, let's take it seriously. Let's work on it. But let's also not let us block it in terms of the TSC and the release date, right? And remember also, after the TSC approves, we can continue updating the documentation, right, until the moment of release. So, so I'm not worried about that, but yeah, let's take it seriously.
Yes. So on the documentation side, Sagar and Joseph indicated that they already started with something with that in the similar lines of what we did for R1 and in anticipation of what will eventually turn up in terms of the deployment for the intended topology. So I think they have made some progress, but like Tal said, probably we can take a look at that and then improve. So Wim, to your original point, I think this is one of the big three things that we need to do for R3. We need to recruit more people, and albeit it may slow down a process a little bit. I think we should do that. Otherwise, I don't. Yeah, it's a slightly complex project, so I think we should really do some pair programming or volunteerism or recruiting different players into different aspects of the project, and then take it from there. I think probably we should definitely do that. That's in my mind for the R3 release timeframe.
The other thing is the release notes. Is that handle Or are you doing that?
Yeah,
Paolo,
that is
or do
part
we
of the documentation. We need to create the release notes. Yes.
Yeah, because there is documentation is one is how does it work and what does it do, but then the
Yes.
other part is what did we deliver and what
Yes.
is the So for me, these are two separate things.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I just used single word. So basically, there are three kinds of documentation: user documentation, release notes, and the installer. So
Yeah.
I think from the user and the installer installation, I think Sagar is taking a stab at it, along with Victor and Joseph. And the release notes, yeah, we'll have to come up with. Yeah, I think I will come up with the release notes. I'll just
And
make
maybe
a
we
note
can
of it.
ask on Wednesday whether there is more volunteers, right, who are willing
Yeah.
to help.
Yeah.
To
Absolutely.
see whether we can have some people.
Yeah. So on the Friday, Tal, it may be that I may have to skip that meeting, Tal and Wim, on that day.
Friday, which meeting? The SIG?
Wednesday SIG automation meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please. Yeah. So that is that. So I think are we? So I think are we saying that we are principally okay for the Jan 17th request to TSC and with the release date of Jan 30th?
Yeah. Did we make progress? I think, Stephen, I saw a note from the so the namespace. I hope I clarified it.
Yeah. So I hope they know how to fix it, but then otherwise I'll probably give them some pointers to get through this. But then my understanding is the AMF and UPF they were able to bring up. So I mean, functional unit tests, if you will. So it's only tested on the workload clusters. That should be good. And then if there's some integrations that needs to be done, probably after this.
And then OAI, do we know where they are?
I don't.
I haven't heard. So
OAI, the last meeting, Sagar and Joseph said they actually tested end-to-end, almost tested end-to-end call in their own topology, but it is not tested with a new topology. That's our next item probably. Victor is here. Victor is here. Probably is gonna tell us about the new testing flow that he's gonna create, and they wanted to test that in the new testing flow. Other than that, they were very confident about how the integration worked for both RAN and core.
Well, I can provide an update on that. So what I have been doing is I'm still using the B101 Nephew components to deploy the Sagar the Sagar instructions, which is like deploying the edge regional clusters. So for now, that portion provisioning the OI clusters are fine. They're interconnected and everything is working fine. But what I'm trying to do is deploy the workloads. In the workloads, I have discovered certain duplication entries and few errors. So thanks to Sagar, who has been quickly fixing all these issues, my expectation is like to have a little core network deployed in the following days. And once that I have that one, I guess I can move forward and start implementing the Joseph changes, which I guess is related with the run portion. So we have progress, but we haven't completed yet.
Yeah, because you are actually the ultimate person who says it will all work together. I think actually Victor is the one that will put all the pieces together in a consistent way that is repeatable, right? So that's kind of Victor is the ultimate person. That,
yeah, I don't want to be.
Wim, are you saying is Victor is the person who's gonna declare victory?
Yes, yeah. So he will, together with the rest of the crew, right? But I think at the end,
Yeah, the only issue that I have tomorrow, I will attend in the AI conference. So hopefully I can still doing some progress. So one of the things that I have been doing is provision development environments for Sagar and Joseph. So if anyone needs a development environment, I can easily provide it. Like it's just a matter of like running a single instruction and that's it. I mean, if for example for documentation or anything like that, you need that kind of access, yeah, I can provision a VM for you.
Yeah. I think, sorry, I messed up. Did I mess up the spelling, Rado? Sorry. Sorry, man.
So do we this week making a call is going to be okay?
So Victor, do you
Possible.
think that somebody can help you, or you can? I mean, let me put it this way: if somebody helps you, do you think it's going to help? Or at this point of time,
No,
it's
yeah,
Kindle?
yeah. I mean, if someone can also try their same, I mean, reproducing the steps that I'm doing is very straightforward. Like in the sense that, yeah, you can easily reproduce it in your local environment. Try to execute the end-to-end test. Yeah, it's great if someone can also try it in order to discover like issues or something missing or whatever. I can provide like a explanation how to execute that. It's not hard, I guess.
Okay.
So, or will
yeah,
you be there? Because we will probably have on Wednesday to ask for more people to join that, right? So let's maybe do that. And I mean, yeah, Victor, if you could write up a little bit what would that mean, because that's typically what people would want to understand, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
But the more people we can, we have to try to source some more people in this space right now, and the chances will just increase, or it hopefully accelerate. Plus, we also increase the knowledge, right? So that's the other thing, right? So we will have more people that we can rely upon potentially on stuff.
Yeah,
which is never a bad thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So on Wednesday,
Absolutely.
Tal, I think we should try then to try to crowdsource a little bit more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I request
yeah.
you and Tal's help there, because I'm in a personal, most likely I'll be out for a personal appointment that day.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's I guess for Wednesday, I honestly think in the coming week people are gonna be disappearing. So we'll see who has availability. I kind of imagine we can make a plan for January. I think at this point it's starting to fade out. Maybe this week people will work a bit, but probably the real testing will happen in January.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, we can always ask, right? So and then
Yeah.
maybe we don't get anything.
I'm willing to step in if other people don't, but we'll see. Hopefully we can crowdsource more.
yeah, I think we'll be in a great shape if before going for the holidays, if PRs are reviewed and merged, and then there is some test infra in place, may not be. And then probably the next 2 weeks when we come back from the vacation, we can just start integration testing and documentation. I think that will be a great place to be in before we part for the holidays. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'll be most likely missing the most crucial meeting on Wednesday. So yeah. I think we discussed that. Victor, sorry to ask you this. So I know it's in progress. Do we know in terms of time, how long would it might take to complete the environment as indicated in the topology, and then do the end-to-end testing? What's the time frame it might take?
Victor just dropped off.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like colliding meetings and has to be, in the same time in 2 places. So he will reconnect.
Okay, cool. So Rado, is there something that you privy to, that information, like how long it might take to do this end-to-end setup and then the eventual testing?
No, I'm not really up to speed with Victor and his recent changes, so I cannot speak for this.
Okay, thank you. All right, so probably we'll get to know that. So I think those were the main things I wanted to discuss. I'm glad we are decided on the dates now, Jan 18th and Jan 30th. Then sorry, one more thing, meeting time. Sorry, I just missed that. Meeting time, SIG architecture, they wanted to grab this slot. And then they wanted us to prepone our meeting by 1 hour. The most important person I'll ask you, Rado, do you think it's gonna work for you? Because do you think is because most of the other people, right? They are participants of both the meetings. So like for example, Stephen, Win, Isti, Tall, they are participants in both the meetings. So if we swap, I think most likely it's gonna work for them, I assume. Because they are in the both meetings anyway. So Rado, you're the most important person. Do you think if at all we pull it ahead by an hour instead of say 12 o'clock or instead of say 10 o'clock Pacific, if you do it at 9 o'clock Pacific, do you think that will work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if I'm the most important person here, but
No, in this meeting, yes, it is a SIG release meeting. You are the most important.
but yeah, basically, I'm good with any time, like whatever is needed. I'm really like more like an owl than like like morning person. So no problem.
Okay.
Like even later. So yeah, it's not a problem for me.
Okay, so anybody else, like I just assumed because everybody else goes to both the meetings, I assumed if you swap, it's not an issue with the rest of the crew here. So anybody else, any objections, any suggestions? I mean, does it not
No,
work
it's
for any?
okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's okay for me as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Cool. I think I will provide that guidance to Sana and Alexi. I have a feeling they have a bigger problem if we just move their meeting 1 hour ahead because it has a bigger participant list. But I'm gonna give them a go ahead saying, like, if you guys want to take this slot and give your slot to us, we are okay with it.
We
Cool.
just need to make sure that we update the meeting in the calendars, probably, right? Because
Yes, yeah. I think yes, that's right. Wim, and any changes will happen only in the new year. So
yeah,
I think we'll have one more meeting next week. That's brings another point. Do you think we should meet next week, or I think SIG Architecture is canceling it? So what do you, Wim and Tal, what do you plan? What are you planning to do for the SIG automation meeting next week? Do you want to keep it or do you want to run it? Sorry, do you want to cancel it?
I think it makes sense to cancel it. I don't know if we'll have a lot of participation. Actually, even I think I might. I don't have the way I work, Bala, you remember from my Red Hat days. I'm not very good at taking vacation for myself. I have nothing planned, but I think it would be healthy for me to take some time off as well. So I might actually do it in the last minute, take some days next week.
Yeah.
I don't know, Wim, what about you? Do you have a vacation planned?
next week I'm still working, but the week after I will be off there.
We can try to do it ad hoc and just see on Slack if there are people available, and we can do the meeting. If there isn't enough quorum, we can cancel.
Yeah, maybe we can ask for topics, right? So if there are no topics to discuss, then we can cancel it, right? So maybe we should do it like that, right? So that we do it on demand, if you will.
Yeah, we can do that. I think yes, true. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. We should do that. And my bigger concern was the release thing. I think most likely we came out on the dates and everything now. I think meeting. I think let me put a note here. Yeah, okay.
I think for this meeting, it's the same, right? Because we are not, if the codes, yeah, will we be ready? I think for this meeting, it will mainly be tagging and stuff like that, right? That we have to discuss. But at the end of the day, I think we should basically say at some point we are okay with it, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll tag, right? So that can also still happen next year, in my view now.
Absolutely, yeah. I think most likely next week's meeting, now that we have all these things, and probably we can communicate a lot on Slack too, Rado. I think most likely we may just end up canceling this meeting next week.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of meetings, while I remember, I guess I should also have access to start this meeting in case you're like not present or whatever.
You don't have
can
access?
give me, like,
Actually, I can't give you because it has to be. Somebody gave it to me. I don't know whether I can give it to you. I think probably Stephen.
It's okay. We've been sending it out to many people already. So when we got it from Lucy, she's like, "Hey, let's be careful." But then we've been passing it along for so many people. It's okay. Give it to Rado. No big problem.
No, I don't know how to give it. That's the thing.
Oh, you know?
I don't know.
Really?
That's why I'm asking you.
Okay, I can send it to him. It's basically just name and password.
It's username and password.
That's the Zoom and password.
Username and password. Yeah, on Zoom. Let's just go log in on Zoom.
Okay,
and
I
then
forgot the password because it's auto logging me in.
Oh, I see. Yeah, let me send it to him. No problem.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. Thanks, Rado. Yeah, I think what did I miss something? Release status.
Victor's back. You wanted to ask him about time frame.
Oh, Victor. Hey, Victor. I don't see him. Is he back? Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Victor,
Yeah,
can you hear?
sorry.
Cool. Thanks. Sorry, but I was asking you a question when you just dropped off. I was asking. I know the test infrastructure for the topology is in progress and for the end-to-end testing. I mean, do we know like how long it's going to take to complete that particular setup and then do the end-to-end testing? Do we know like how long it might take from now?
Taking the time to take the provisioning process or like the development process?
Development process, yeah.
Development process, okay. Well, I need to review the instructions which are left. I think, yeah, probably I can give some pointers to the information that Sagar gave me. So if I'm correct with just with the core, so we are, let me see, the second step in the core network. Yeah, I found the link. Let me paste it in the chat. So we have 2, 3, 4, and yes, it's just 4 steps for the core network, plus the steps required for the run.
Yeah.
So maybe I guess I'm pretty sure that we can complete the second step for today. Once that we have it, I guess the third step is just matter like checking. So I guess for if I have to do an estimate, I'm pretty sure that for this week we can deliver the core portion. So that's very well documented, and I know that the process has been tested by Sagar, and he has responded quickly. So yeah, with the RAM portion, I'm not sure because I haven't taken a look of the steps. I know that Joseph has been doing testing, and he has published the package and everything, but it's just more like probably making sure that it is working as expected.
Okay. So I think so maybe next week. Are you available next week, or are you taking a week off next week?
No, I will take like 2 weeks from when December 18th. So yeah, I will be probably I can take my computer and I can do some progress.
No, I don't. No, that's what I just wanted to know that.
Okay, sure. I mean, I can respond things like I will be online. So sometimes sometimes you get bored. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like yeah, I need to double check with Joseph. Like he has mentioned that he has been testing all these things, but I'm not sure that he has been testing all these things together. That's my major concern. Like, yeah.
So and Victor, a quick question. I just raised my hand. So you have been testing with the latest code, right? Because we did with Fiacra and stuff like that. We did a number of changes to the Bootstrap and secret controller, for example. I also for Sagar we made it. So in release 1, the implementation was very specific to config sync, so we removed that. So all that still works with config sync and stuff like that, right?
Well, that's a tricky thing because the way that it is working now, the test infra is using the tag, the packages which have been tagged with the version 1.0.1, which is not the latest one. So I'm scared to.
Yeah, that's where I'm a bit worried about. That's my biggest fear is what environment are we using here? Because see, there is, for example, we did a change last week for Sagar that has an effect on the package repo as well as the core. And okay, Sagar tested it, but he tested it with OAI. The question is whether it still works then with all the rest and stuff like that. So that's where my biggest fear is that we have lots of repos that by certain means are actually dependent. And we have to test those relationships. And I'm not sure how we go about all of these things.
Yeah, I don't know if someone can help. Like, I mean, that could be a parallel effort. Like, someone like using the main branch instead of the targets, which are what I'm using right now, and I start discovering things at least on the OAI.
Because for Sagar, I have the feeling you have to use the latest changes because his thing doesn't work without it.
Well, that was also my assumption as well. But in the morning, he told me like he was using not the latest one. So I don't know what to say.
Okay, yeah, that's where I have a bit of I'm not a concern or a question more than anything how we do that. Because in release 1 it was easy, right? It was all main latest, so there was no tag.
Yeah, in terms like doing in the test infra, it's just more like overwriting like a single variable, and that's switch completely the workflow. Instead of, I mean, we have like a variable which defines the version that we are using. So pointing to a certain version is very straightforward. The thing is like just understanding the implications. I don't know what is going to be the consequence of that change. Yeah, we have to do it. Definitely, we have to do it. It's a change that we need to do, especially because we are releasing a new thing. Like
like all the changes that we did in main somehow, or in the nephew repo, I was assuming that we take those in, right? But then there was dependencies with, for example, certain packages that you need to take in. And so that whole maze somehow is what we need to pull together, right? At the end of the day.
So that means that we have published the new images in the project Docker registry, and we are like pointing those new images in the package definition, and so
yeah.
Okay.
Because, for example, I think, Rado, correct me if I'm wrong, we push those images with Git tag, right? When there is new updates, right?
Yeah. Every time the change is merged, there is a new image build. Every merged PR, not only on the release. And I have, as I was saying at the beginning, there are a few dependencies here, namely the Pro update as well. But I have already a piece of code to test changes like pre-merge changes. It will require build additional set of images, and it will be tested against the head, the top of the main code.
Yeah. For example, Victor, let's say, so one of the changes we did in R2, right, is we changed NF deployment CRD, right?
Yeah.
So which means that all the packages will have to be updated. There's a new specialization function that Akash implemented based on it, and then there is Ronak who is doing the changes on the workload cluster. They all should go together.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know if someone has been modifying the definition in the Nephew package, example packages repo to point to those new images. So if someone has been doing those changes,
I think that's what I feel is missing.
yeah.
That's nobody did, right? So, and as a result, we take 101 probably, right? So that's the thing that we are missing, I think. Because otherwise, what you do is you basically bring up 101 again, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if I switch to a main branch, like, and it's still pointing to the same image, it's not going to reflect anything, right? So yeah, we have to.
I mean, it will not work. It depends what you put. Yeah, so you have. So okay, so that's basically one thing that needs to happen. Basically, is identify all the changes that are needed to assemble that release, right? So okay, I didn't. Yeah.
So in that way, once that we submit those changes in the Nephew package and Nephew example packages repos, we can easily change the test infra and point to the main branch or whatever new branch that we wanted, and start deploying those things.
Yeah. Okay, because I think John did all of that mapping. I think he kept track of it, right? So we don't have anyone doing that at this stage, I believe. Okay. So let me see tomorrow. I'll see. I have maybe a bit of time. So let me try to see whether I can help. Hey, Tal. Yeah, Tal, you raised your hand.
Yeah, Tal, go ahead, please.
I think that he's still mute.
Are you on mute?
No, but he's gone. Oh no. He's here.
Tal, you're not talking if you're not. Or if you're talking, we're not hearing.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now, yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, don't know what happened. I'm sorry, I had to step aside for a minute. I wanted to raise one issue. I thought to talk about it in SIG 2, but it's probably important now. Porch, right? There's a big PR from John to move Porch into Nephew, right? And he's on vacation. We'll probably move it into a separate repo. That seems to be what most people would prefer, but I'll say that it's a slight concern for us, right? Because it's not just moving Porch, it'll be generating new images. And I think John has made a bunch of fixes as well. I want to suggest, I'll suggest it in SIG 2, but we might as well do it here, that we'll put this change as experimental just because it's such a big shift. If for some reason we start testing with the new images and find problems, we just roll back conceptually and use the existing Porch images instead of these new ones. Because I just imagine that if there are issues, they might be pretty complicated to fix kind of at the last minute. and it's such a critical component. So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
That
And
sounds
this is one of
reasonable.
yeah, that sounds reasonable. Yeah. So this is one of the dependencies we have, right? So this is
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
I
just
think
see it as a big risk potentially.
yeah, but,
Yeah, as
we
well.
need to we need to build this matrix, right, with all the components. But ports is definitely a risk item right now, given that John is not reachable.
Yeah, I mean, everything could be okay. It's essentially the same code, but I know he has made fixes, and we will just have to incorporate, you know, building the images and pushing them and making sure that we're using the right images. So if for some reason we feel like it's just not enough time to do it properly, we can just continue using the current porch images that we've been using until now.
Yeah, that probably makes sense because from a review point of view, it's a big ask for people to. I know I've been looking at it, but it's a big ask to, you know, to review one that big, and at the same time, you don't want the review to be sitting there for months. So I think, yeah, if we take it in as an experimental, and then, you know, take our time over it, sounds like a reasonable approach to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Cool. So
Yeah, and the idea of having it in a separate repo makes total sense as well.
yes, totally. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Sal, for bringing that up. And Wim, the confusion with repos and tags that you and Victor were discussing, do you think we'll get a handle on this by this Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll dig into it tomorrow. I have a bit of time, I think, somewhere during the day. Because see, if we don't pull this matrix together, we are not really testing R2. Is my point.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'll try to see, because we have to go to each of the repos and see the impact, and maybe there was even missing items that we haven't updated yet, that we have to update to do this, right? So, but I'll take a step at it tomorrow, and I'll send a mail. I'll Slack something around based on my findings, and then maybe I'm missing something, but at least I'll keep it. I'll start the process, or the matrix dependency.
Cool. Yeah, that makes
Sounds
sense.
good.
And then we
Thanks,
can discuss on Wednesday, probably, right? To see whether we are missing something or. Yeah.
Right. Cool. I think a very useful meeting today. A lot of things. So anything else from anyone?
Okay. Looking forward to your meeting in the morning, Wim.
Oh,
Yes,
Liam,
fine.
since you joined, I volunteered you a little bit, if you would agree, to help me with reviewing documentation kind of towards the end. I know you're pretty good at it, and you don't have to volunteer, but if you have time to work with me to kind of make sure that all our documentation is coherent and kind of give a level of quality assurance over everything.
Sounds good. So yeah, no, I have no problem with that, Tal. So
Excellent.
it's like when the officer looks for the volunteers and turns us back, and everybody except one guy steps back. Yeah,
Right.
Thanks, Liam. Yeah.
no problem. I'm
Added.
around as well, apart from the actual week of Christmas and New Year's Day. I'll be back on the 2nd, so we're around next week.
I hope we just don't end up fighting over British spelling versus American spelling.
We can get past that. Or European spelling. Be totally diplomatic about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think did I correct with the spelling? Did I correct your spelling, Rado?
Yeah, it's good. It's good now. It's
Okay.
pretty hard name.
Yes.
Wendell, not many letters, so yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah, cool. So if there is nothing else, probably we can end this meeting maybe 5 minutes early. So if that's the case, so probably when you need to help me to probably I can probably since you started, please stop the recording as well, and then
Okay.
cool. If we don't meet next week, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everyone. See anyway, we'll see in the other meetings as well.
Thanks.
Happy
Thank you. Yeah.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
chance. Yeah.
Take
Take care.
care.
Bye bye.